Buffalo Bills, once again in the regular season, beating the Kansas City Chiefs. And after the Bills won this game, you saw reminder after reminder, and it was coming from the Bills themselves, that this is not the ultimate goal. Sean McDermott said it to the team in the locker room. This is not our Super Bowl. They've been here before. They've beaten the Chiefs in the regular season only to fall to them in the playoffs. It happened last year where they were able to beat them in the regular season and come back and lose a playoff game to the Chiefs. So this all has to be taken with that grain of salt, that to the Bills players, this doesn't mean anything if they cannot make it happen again in January. But I think there are a lot of good signs for where the Bills are. And I think the first one is the obvious, and we'll cover that right off the top, which is going for it on 4th and 2 and really putting yourself in a position to slay the dragon. And the situation, of course, as everybody remembers, the Bills are up by 2 points at that point, 23-21. They can bang home a field goal and make it so Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs offense has to drive the entire field to win the game rather than needing a field goal to win the game. And they chose to go for it on 4th and 2. They put the ball in the hands of their best player. Josh Allen runs that little fake where he pumps it out to Ty Johnson in the flat, kind of gives a shoulder fake and then goes. And again, like this was like a superhero play where he just zooms right down Main Street through the heart of the Chiefs defense. Nick Bolton, who is a phenomenal linebacker, just bounces off of him in the open field. And Josh puts his shoulder down and carries Brian Cook, a really good safety, into the end zone. And that basically puts away the game and puts the Bills in position to win that game 30-21. Obviously a huge win. If the Chiefs stumble again, it puts the Bills in position potentially to host the AFC Championship game. But again, they were here last year. You know, they won that game, which put them in the position to host a playoff game. They did host the playoff game against the Chiefs. And we all know how that one went. The Chiefs win a second straight Super Bowl, third Super Bowl in 5 years, and the Bills are still searching for their first Lombardi trophy. So what makes this one different? Well, the decision there. I think that's the obvious thing. Again, that's the decision there is making the assumption we cannot assume that we're going to be able to stop Pat Mahomes from getting into the end zone. So we need to slay the dragon right here, which they were able to do. Our player versus your best player. We're going to basically cut your best player's legs out by using our best player to put him too far behind to come back. So that's number one. Number two, last year's team was an aging team that was kind of rickety at the end. This is not an aging team anymore. This is a young team, a team that's relying on players in key spots that should ascend and keep getting better. Remember, Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman were not in that game at the end. And so you have two of their rising young players in Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman who you're going to be able to get back into the mix. You're relying on, again, guys like Ray Davis to help close the game out, who's a rookie who should keep getting better. On defense, you've got guys like Terrell Bernard making big plays, that young defensive line, Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver. They've just done such a good job, and we've been over this before of replacing and having guys in the pipeline ready to go, the older players who are the core of the last team. And to be here in this position where, you only have 2 losses this deep into the season, you're 8-2, you've basically won the AFC East at this point. You're positioning yourself for the playoffs. You've beaten the Chiefs. And I know the Chiefs aren't, the healthiest team in the world either. They've had the injury bug hit them pretty hard this year, but to do that in a year when you lost Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Mitch Morris, Stephon Diggs, like that leadership core, and having the young guys ready to go and making smart free agent decisions and going and getting, a guy like Mac Hollins who wasn't in high demand, but you're able to go and dig that guy out and find that guy to help you out. You're able to go and get a Taylor Rapp to ease the loss of the safeties. Just a lot of smart decisions that weren't the obvious decision. And now they're in position where, again, I think that team should be ascending. That team should be ascending through the rest of November, into December, into January, in a way that Bills teams over the last couple of years, with that window that they had to win with that group closing, those Bills teams were not in that position. This Bills team is. You got to feel great about Buffalo coming out of this one. As for the Chiefs, I think it's, It's their margin for error right now from an injury standpoint is thin because of the losses of guys like Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice. And so the vision for the offense has had to change. I think you got to give the coaching staff, Andy Reid, Matt Nagy on that side of the ball, a lot of credit for being able to manage the injury situation. They just got Juju back. They should have Isaiah Pacheco back maybe in their next game. Like to be able to make this work with, the vision for the offense, which had been Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy running over the top with Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce using all that space underneath. That vision is gone because of the injuries. To be able to kind of keep evolving it on the fly is a credit to the coaches. I think it got them here. But we still don't know what the Chiefs are going to be with Hopkins in there, with Juju in there, with Isaiah Pacheco in there, with all those guys in there together, assuming they can stay healthy now.